Good evening from Joliet, Illinois, and Joliet Memorial Stadium, the home of the Fighting Saints of the University of St. Francis, who today take on Trinity International University in men's soccer action. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call as the Saints try to make it back-to-back victories here in conference play. They were victorious on Saturday afternoon right here at home against St. Ambrose. They'll try to do it today against a team that they have traditionally had quite a lot of success against, Trinity International, who comes into today's matchup with just one victory on the season. They're 1-11 overall. 7 of those 11 losses have come in conference. Their only win was a conference match, so they're 1-7 in CCAC play. St. Francis, with their win against St. Ambrose on Saturday, moved over the 500 mark. They are now 4-3-1 in CCAC play, good for 13 points and 7th place in the conference. Overall this season, the Saints are 4-8-1 under the leadership of Dan Cross in his 6th season as head coach here at St. Francis. The Fighting Saints will get the opening kick as we are set to get started here, and the Saints do get us started. They'll be going from left to right, wearing their yellow and white uniforms today, and in the first half shooting into the south goal with the wind blowing straight into their faces here in the first half of play. The wind at the backs of Trinity International, the Trojans in black, going from right to left. They're shooting into the north goal. And they can't go anywhere on this first chance of the game. Josiah Fox is sent on the run for it and is out in front of Fox. So it's a throw in for St. Francis as the ball goes out of bounds. It goes out this time off of the Fighting Saints. Saints line up with Isaac Avalos, Edward Luna Zakarskichenko, Leonardo Haro, Diego Cortez, Jesus Flores, Anthony Durca, Santos Contreras, Roberto Centino, and Jack Conway. They're starting 10 in front of goalkeeper Carson Hegland, the junior, who has been excellent this season for the Fighting Saints. Hegland has allowed 10 goals on the season, playing in his 9th game this season, as that ball is sent into the box but overshot any Trojans. It rolls out of bounds along the sideline down near the corner for a St. Francis throw-in. Hegland has made 42 saves this year, an .808 percentage. He has 1 shutout. Came close to a second in his last start, but allowed a late goal to avoid that distinction. However, as I said, he has been good, and the team has had success with him in goal of late. He has been the primary goalkeeper for St. Francis in CCAC play. Saints come up with a steal at midfield, but give it right back up. Taken away there by Joel Karakos. Ball's nearly lost by Trinity, deep in their own territory. Zakhar Skidchenko chases it down, but before he can get to the ball, it's cleared by the goalkeeper Armin Mahmutovic. Mahmutovic sends it straight out of bounds. Mahmutovic, the freshman from Sen High School. He's from Chicago, and he is the starter in net, wearing red down on our right side. Trinity's starting lineup, aside from Mahmutovic, lines up with Jamin Kipfer, Zach Modsali, Troy Sy, Josiah Fox, Johnny Mueller, Josiah Joseph, Edwin Zuniga, Joel Karakos, Nick Willard, and Trenton Garside, wearing number 99 on his back for Trinity International. Free kick following the foul for St. Francis. It'll be taken by their freshman defender Jack Conway from just beyond midfield, off along the right sideline. Here's the kick from Conway. Sends it off to his left. Poked into the box and cleared quickly by Jamin Kipfer. Saints try to make another run at it. Down in the far corner, a battle for the ball. And it is lost out of bounds. The throw-in will belong to St. Francis. Centino steps up to toss this ball in. Headed into the box. And knocked away by Trinity. Again, the Saints battle to get it back, but the Trojans are able to keep it alive for their side and turn it upfield the other direction. Across midfield on the run, Josiah Joseph is stopped, pushed into the middle of the field. Here's Fox. Fox looks to his right, 2 defenders in his way, poked away, and Contreras knocks it downfield for Durka. He gets it back. Sent off to Skidchenko around midfield. Skidchenko is muscled off the ball by Jamin Kipfer. Nice play by Kipfer. Trinity sends it into the box, and Hegland feels it on one bounce. Just over 4 minutes in. No real threat to St. Francis there. They have not been threatened yet. And we are scoreless early on. Here's a run from Diego Cortez. That stopped. Contreras back towards the sideline, trying to find Zakhar Skidchenko unsuccessfully. Zakhar Skidchenko leads the team among the national leaders with 15 goals this season, 31 points. He leads the club as well with 63 shots, 32 shots on goal, so no secret as to the game plan today for St. Francis. They'll try to feed Skidchenko on the offensive end. That was Anthony Durka who tried to make a run. He was stopped by the Trinity defense. Durka this season has not scored a goal. He does have 1 assist. Offensively, it is Sergio Fernandez Arango who ranks second on the team with 5 goals, but it has primarily been the Zakhar Skidchenko show offensively. He has scored more than half of St. Francis's goals this year, and he has been very good in conference play. Garside passes it off towards the middle. Edwin Zuniga nearly lost it off the first touch. It's tapped back to the goalkeeper Mahmutovic. Mahmutovic wears number 97 on his back for Trinity International. who came into play today. 10 games below 500, having lost their last 6 consecutively. Here's Skidchenko chipping it ahead for Durka. Durka trying to control it, but he tried to control it off his hands, at least off the forearm. He's called for the handball in the box, and so we've got a free kick for Trinity International. Potentially promising run for the Fighting Saints is stopped by the handball. And then prior to the free kick, they've got to move the ball back to where it started. So they play it short on the free kick, rolling off to the far side of the field. Coming up to midfield. Pushed ahead. Long run for Josiah Joseph. Joseph can't get there before Carson Hegland can, and Hegland skies it out of bounds. A throw in for Trinity. Johnny Mueller passes it back to the defense. Big kick downfield from Kipfer, and it bounces over the back line out of bounds. I don't know if Kipfer was specifically looking for Josiah Fox there, but Fox was the nearest one to the ball, and he couldn't catch up with it. Out of bounds for a goal kick for St. Francis. No score after 7 minutes of play. Last time these teams met up, it was a 5-0 Fighting Saints victory this past spring. Throw in coming up for Trinity. Josiah Larson is the 4th-year head coach of the Trinity International Trojans. I guess he just likes recruiting like-named individuals. I don't think I can ever remember a situation before, although maybe I guess last year when these two teams played each other back in March. Other than that, as the ball is knocked out of bounds by the Fighting Saints, I can't think of a time I was ever in the presence of 3 Josiahs all at one time. But Trinity International's got 2 players, Josiah Fox and Josiah Joseph. And of course the head coach of the Trojans is Josiah Larson. As the Trojans try to set up a shot inside, Troy Sy is the one who received the pass from out of bounds. They head it up towards the net. Carson Hegland, though, able to make the easy catch on a floater towards him. He punts it across midfield towards the middle of the field. Brought in by Kipfer. And Kipfer reverses field on it. Sent back towards the Saints side, and Hegland lets it roll to a stop at his foot. He boots it away to his left. Possession won by Santos Contreras. Long ball ahead for Skidchenko. Skidchenko stays on sides but can't run it down. He was standing off to the right side for St. Francis, had to chase it to his left. And before he could get there, Troy Sy is able to knock it away and out of bounds. Tossed in, headed away. Pushed across midfield over towards the Saints defense, and they're able to send it back up to the midfield. Here's Cortez, a header by Skidchenko in the box, goes out of bounds. Good pass from Diego Cortez. Zakar Skidchenko found inside on the header, but it does drift wide of the net. So we've got a goal kick coming up here for Mamutovic. Skidchenko, nice ball to Durka. Durka making the run on Kipfer, and Kipfer is able to tackle it away from Anthony Durka. Good defense by Jamin Kipfer, the junior from Wilmore, Kent. He's able to start a possession for Trinity International. So they make their way across midfield. Tapped ahead for Fox. Fox sends it back behind him to Karakos. Karakos is halted. More good defense by St. Francis. It was Cortez on the defense. Skidchenko sends it downfield for Durka. And Durka can't reach it before Nick Willard. Willard pushes it back across midfield. Going back and forth now. Trinity will try to sustain a possession from the defensive end. They pass it back towards midfield, and in the circle it's intercepted. Cortez forced off the ball by Fox. comes Josiah Johnson. Johnson around one defender, can't get around Flores. Jesus Flores comes away with the steal. It's rolled ahead to Zakhar Skidchenko. Skidchenko trying to work on Kipfer. Gets back into the middle. Deflected. Back into the foot of Zakhar Skidchenko. He turns and takes a shot. Well high and wide of the net and out of bounds. Troy Sy in on the defense as well. Originally it was Skidchenko against Kipfer. Sy came over with the help. Skidchenko was thrown off balance. Tried to take the shot anyway, but from a long ways out. Tough angle. Didn't really have a good look at the net as he took that shot. And ended up sailing well out of the confines of the goal. And we're still scoreless. About 11.5 minutes into this one. On the far sideline, it's Trinity International in control. Zach Madsali pushes it ahead. Out of bounds, but back to Trinity International. Johnson into the middle, taken away. Nice work by Durka. Cortez tries to keep it alive amidst two defenders, and he's not able to do so. Possession taken back by Trinity International. Joel Karakos has it lost. Flores tries to track it down. Kipfer gets there, but Flores gave him a push before taking that ball away. So a foul called on on Jesus Flores. And Kipfer clears it. Across midfield, it bounces once. Isaac Avalos heads it back to Josiah Fox. Fox and Johnson on top of each other. Josiah Joseph takes it away and pushes off to the right. And out of bounds, last touched by St. Francis. Slow start to this one. Both teams still looking for their first real scoring chance. We've seen a couple of shots from either side, but none of them have been close. Headed across midfield for Skidchenko. One-on-one, Skidchenko against Kipfer. Good positioning by Kipfer. He does not allow Skidchenko to make a run on the ball, and Zach Madsali ends up knocking it out of bounds. Here's Madsali from the ground. He's able to keep it alive to Sy, but it doesn't matter. He was on the ground because he was pushed. So a foul called against St. Francis. Cross midfield. Isaac Avalos, the first one there. He gets his head on the ball. Rolls it back to midfield, where Josiah Joseph takes over. Joseph gets it ahead to Karakos. Karakos, two defenders in his way. Tries to poke it past Conway. They get it back to Karakos, but Conway tackles it away from him. Jack Conway is able to clear it temporarily. Joseph comes back, and Joseph knocks it off his thigh. Or was knocked off of Joseph's thigh anyway, out of bounds. Going back to the Saints, although intercepted by Josiah Joseph. Sy gets it ahead to Garside. Now on a deflection, a shot a little bit high and over the net. Out of bounds on the shot from Johnny Mueller, but a good setup for Mueller, and he had a good look at the goal. He rifled one just a little bit too high. Tough spot, tough guy to shoot over. Carson Hegland, 6'4" tall. He stops pretty much all of them that come to the top portion of the net. You've got to get it around him. And he tried to find the sweet spot just above Hegland and below the crossbar, and he ends up going above the crossbar and out of bounds. "15 minutes in. No score between St. Francis and Trinity International. Tossed in and possession secured by Trinity as it's sent back to Mahmudovic. Mahmudovic gives it the big right-footed kick right past midfield. Immediately sent back to him. On two bounces, he backs up and makes the stop. Leonardo Haro gave that kick some good legs all the way to the net before Mahmudovic was able to make the stop. Battle for possession at midfield. In the short term, won by Trinity International, but they can't keep it in bounds. We're going down the other way as Joel Karakos couldn't keep it in for his Trojans. Skidchenko heads it over to Contreras. Contreras into the box, deflected away. Cleared by Zuniga, off to his right. Long run towards the sideline. Nick Willard was unable to get there, but it was deflected out by St. Francis. Saints back on the attack. It's Skidchenko dribbling into two defenders, got by him, but the third one steps in and makes the stop. That's Troy Tsai. Tap towards the sideline, out of bounds. Saints get to turn the ball back in their direction now as it's pushed out again, this time by Madsali. Edward Luna will get the toss here for the Fighting Saints, who try to break a scoreless tie in the attacking zone. That one is intercepted by Willard, though. Pushed up into the air and across midfield, out of bounds. Saints had the defense back, ready to go. But that ball sent all the way back into the goalkeeper's box. Nobody there wearing yellow. And an easy pickup once again for Mahmudovic. To the Saints defense, Isaac Avalos tips it up towards midfield, and it bounces to the sideline, out of bounds before Josiah Fox picks it up. Header at midfield. Saints can't keep the momentum going forward. There's a big kick from Madsali. Sent for Johnny Mueller. Mueller trying to set it up. Mueller to the edge of the box. Crosses. Nobody there. Tsai tries to chase it down on the back end of the play, but he's nowhere near it. That cross pretty much sent into no man's land. And it sets up a goal kick for Carson Hegland and the Fighting Saints. First, we've got a substitution, and our first one of the game. It is Alberto Mendoza coming in. And Edwin Zuniga is coming out. So Mendoza in for Zuniga. Cleared by Trinity. Haro fights to get it back for the Saints, and the Saints do take it back. There's a nice slide tackle from Josiah Joseph. Joseph is on the move. Joseph, before tripping, rolls it off to his right. Fox in the box, loses it. And it's taken away by the Saints. St. Francis didn't challenge Fox there. He just tripped over the ball. They tried to challenge him. They just didn't force him to lose it. He stumbled all on his own, and St. Francis is very fortunate and happy that he did. On the outside, Trinity makes another run. Stepping up, that ball is knocked out of bounds. Nice play by Centino. He knocked it off of a Trojan, ricocheted right out the back line. We've got a goal kick here. Cool, damp night in Joliet. Fall has hit us suddenly after an extended summer stay. At the last home game, Dan Cross over on the Saints sideline was wearing shorts. Today he's wearing a heavy coat. So things have changed a lot in just a handful of days. But pretty good conditions for today's game. It rained much of the day, but not a drop for the last couple of hours. So the field is damp, but it drains well here. Out of bounds. We've got another goal kick coming up for the Fighting Saints. So I wouldn't expect the damp turf to have any impact on this game. Coolest temperatures, I believe, that Saints have played in this year, although there were a couple of chillier days in late September, early October, so maybe they They've played in colder. Not here. I know that. Foul called on Trinity. One goes against Alberto Mendoza. Just ahead of midfield. This is Jack Conway on the free kick. Conway's kick sails to the far side of the net, headed towards that net and into the hands of Mahmudovic on a bounce. So the Saints get another attempt on the free kick, or right off the free kick. Mahmudovic makes the stop. There's another foul on Trinity. Anthony Durko was knocked to the ground on the play. Foul called against the Trojans. It went against Zach Maudsley. And then a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play was over. Maudsley was not involved. He quickly ran away from the play. We're ready to go here. Free kick into the box. Deflected towards the back post and to the back line. Out of bounds. That's going to be a goal kick. Couple of free kicks for St. Francis. Do not net them a goal. We've just about reached the halfway point here in the first half, and we've not seen either team with a goal just yet. Haro turns it upfield along the sideline. Intercepted. Here's Fox over to the middle. His ball is deflected. Gets it back. Passes off to the right side. This is Mendoza. Mueller to Sy. Looks down in the corner for Garside. Didn't have him. It's out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in. Tapped out of bounds, and this one is out on St. Francis. Here's Kipfer with a big launch from short of midfield. I don't know if that was intended to be a shot or not from about 60 yards out, but there was nobody anywhere close to that ball wearing black, so it didn't look like a pass either. But as a shot, it did sail a good several feet wide to the left. Hegland didn't even make a move on it, just turned and watched it sail out. So now Hegland gets to show off his leg, although he's kicking into the wind, and his ball dies off on the far sideline and comes to a rest out of bounds. The wind is blowing at the backs of Trinity International. Hasn't seemed particularly to benefit them so far, but it could. It definitely is the most interesting thing about the weather tonight, just the way the wind is blowing. Into the box, Hegland slides and makes the stop. Maudsley was on his heels, so Hegland had to act decisively. He did. He fell on top of the ball before the shot could be taken, and he keeps his shutout intact. Now 25 minutes into it. Contreras' pass is deflected towards the sideline. Fox is able to take control. Nice job by the Trinity senior as the Saints knock it out. Here's Joel Karakos' throw. Tossed into Luca Eric. Eric is one of a couple of players on this roster from the United Arab Emirates. Dubai is where he calls home. Right now it's Deerfield, at least for his college experience. No score, under 20 minutes left in the first half. Mueller rolls it to the right. Out of bounds on St. Francis. Big throw in for the Trojans here. They try to get on the board first. They are deep into St. Francis territory. Cross is deflected. St. Francis pushes it downfield. Long run to the back line, and Kipfer is able to tap it back to his goalkeeper, Mahmudovic. Mahmudovic elects not to pick it up. Instead, he plays it with his feet, and he kicks it across midfield. Battle once again on the defensive end for Trinity. Into the box, Skidchenko makes the run. Skidchenko hits it off of Madsali, and Madsali knocks it down the middle of the field. Saints get it back and give it right back up. Flores looking for a Cortez there. Tossed into Isaac Avalos, who cannot control it with the first touch. Here comes Johnny Mueller. Mueller off to his right. It's Willard on the far sideline. Trinity looking to set up an offense here against a tough St. Francis D. Out of bounds there. Saints take possession as they bring a few subs in. Sergio Fernandez Arango, CCAC's Player of the Week last week, comes in along with Pablo Rubio Guerra. Some fresh faces for Dan Cross's team tonight. At least one fresh face on that substitution. Pablo Rubio Guerra has been seldom used early in games. He has played in the majority of them this season. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Or excuse me, it's a foul called right in the middle of the field. Never came close to getting knocked out of bounds. Sergio Fernandez Arango typically is a starter for the Fighting Saints, second on the team in both goals and points scored. So he comes in after Durka left. Anthony Durka was playing just his 9th game out of the team's 12. But he got the start today. Fighting Saints now look for a spark offensively. They've held their opponents to 2 goals or fewer in 5 consecutive games and have gone 3-2 in those 5 games. So the defense has been staunch of late. Pass in front of the net. There's a shot well wide to the right. Santos Contreras was at a good angle. Had the ball tipped, but nowhere close on the shot as it went wide to the right. Here comes the corner kick for the Fighting Saints. It'll be taken by Zakhar Skidchenko, the senior from the Ukraine, who leads the conference in goals scored and is up there among the national leaders. There's a header and it's in. And St. Francis strikes first. Off the corner kick. A header and a goal for, I believe that was Centino. Roberto Centino scores the goal and puts St. Francis in the lead with 15:28 to go in the first half. So it comes off of the corner kick from Zakhar Skidchenko. Roberto Centino scores his first goal of the season and his first goal collegiately. The freshman defender from right down the street from here is able to get his head on the ball and knock it past Mahmudovic and make it 1-0 here in the 30th minute of action. For Zakhar Skidchenko, assist number 2 on the season. His 32nd point this year comes off of a fine corner kick that he was able to set up Centino for the header and the goal. Down the middle of the field, past Jamin Kipfer, and into the hands of Mahmudovic. A long punt with the wind is headed back by St. Francis's defense and towards the sideline at midfield. It's out of bounds, and the Saints throw in. Here's another chance for St. Francis into the box, taken towards the back line. That shot rolls right in front of Mahmutovic, who's able to pick it up. Pablo Rubio Guerra got in a little bit too deep before shooting that one. And a relatively easy stop for Mahmutovic. Still 1-0 Saints as they strike first today. Second straight game, actually the third straight game that they've scored first. Well, we can keep going, to be honest. They scored first against Olivet Nazarene last Tuesday, a game that they lost 2-1. They gave up 2 late goals, including one in just the last couple of minutes, to take that loss. Into the box, and this time no chance at getting a shot off for St. Francis. The area was sealed off by the Trinity International defense, and Mahmutovic picks up the loose ball.
Goal scored by St. Francis, number 26, Roberto Centino.
Another chance for the Saints here, back into the box. There's a shot and a nice save by Mahmutovic.
29-32.
Saints look to double their lead
For Centino.
and couldn't quite do so as the whistle blows. We'll go the other way with it. Trinity International gets a chance to clear it here after a good run for the Saints. Nearly extended their advantage. Luna got a good shot off, but a nice save by Mahmutovic. Trinity looking for the equalizers. They make their way down the field, but clumsily there as they lose the ball out of bounds along that sideline. You have to check back on the box score of the Governor State game from September 29th, a game that the Saints won 3-2. But this is at least the 4th consecutive game in which the Saints have scored first, as that ball pops out of the hands of Carson Hegland. Machias Haywood gives him a little run, and so Hegland picks it back up. Not too dangerous there. The ball went back harmlessly into the hands of Hegland, and even though he wasn't able to put a clean squeeze on it, he wasn't near the goal as the ball trickled out. So the ball rolled off towards the sideline harmlessly. Along the sideline, it is Trinity in possession. Knocked out of bounds by Avalos. And the throw-in belongs to Joel Karakos. Foul on TIU there. USF gets the free kick. Here's Fernandez Arango. Tapped to the outside by Pablo Rubio Guerra. And out of the reach of Cortez, out of bounds. Into Haywood. Haywood tries to turn it upfield, deflect it out. Conway hit it off of Haywood. And so Conway gets the throw now. Tossed in, headed back by Maudsley. Maudsley hits it out of bounds. Down low again for the Saints. And cleared out of bounds again by the Trojans. 11.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's 1-0 St. Francis. Playing with a renewed vigor since scoring that goal. It had been a pretty evenly matched first half up to that point, but the Saints have created a few more opportunities for themselves just since taking that 1-0 advantage. Their defense has been good, but not good enough to rest on this, that's for sure. Here's Haywood's pass to his right, intercepted. Contreras rolls it up the middle of the field. Tapped back towards Contreras by Rubio Guerra and intercepted by Trinity. Out of bounds for a Trojans throw-in. Willard tosses it in. Knocks back towards midfield. And out of bounds. Another throw-in for Trinity International. Trojans look to control the possession here. Rolled into the box and knocked away by Avalos. Here's Skidchenko trying to gather control of the ball. Couldn't do it. Ran into Mendoza. Mendoza fell to the ground. He's back up and in the play as Haywood stumbles over the ball and falls down. Ball goes out of bounds. Haywood goes straight down. Throw-in belongs to St. Francis. Conway takes it. Conway along the sideline, deflected back, and Conway gives it a kick into the middle of the field. Bouncing off towards the far side. Willard tracks it down. Nobody there in yellow. Here's Mendoza across the middle of the field. Mendoza taps it off to Joseph. Three-man game in the midfield circle. Passed off to the right. Willard rolls it ahead. Trinity's had the ball a while now, but they haven't been able to move it anywhere. Now they lose possession. Joseph tries to get it back, and he taps it off to Maudsley. Maudsley, good ball work into the middle, takes the shot, deflected out of bounds. Before that ball even hit out of bounds, the whistle blew. We've got a corner kick coming up for Trinity International University. Corner kick belongs to the senior Josiah Joseph. Joseph transferred in from the University of Northwestern Ohio. His corner kick is deflected away to the sideline, so we are not 100% on corner kicks today. The Saints' only goal was scored on a corner. Skidchenko set up Centino, and Centino finished it off. No goal that time for Trinity, though. Here's a long run for Skidchenko. Skidchenko is forced off the ball. Well defended by Maudsley. Actually, Kipfer. It's Kipfer who made the stop. And it'll be Trinity International's ball here, but the referee's calling players from both teams over. Wants to make sure there's no bad blood after a physical play. And so they've been properly chastised. Diego Cortez goes back to his spot, and Joel Caracos throws it in. Flipped around by Contreras. Contreras at midfield. Taps it ahead. Rubio Guerra tried to find Skidchenko in front of him. A little miscommunication as Skidchenko cut towards the middle of the field. The ball went past his original spot. Nearly lost by St. Francis. The run was slowed down, and now it is lost. Possession is, as the ball goes out of bounds. Headed up the middle. Rubio Guerra can't get there. Mendoza knocks it away first. There's Mendoza again. Alberto Mendoza to the far sideline, out of bounds. The Saints throw it in from the far side of the field, lobbed along the sideline. Popped into the air and brought in by Mendoza. Trojans play the short pass game on the defensive side. Well, they continue with the short passes, trying to move further downfield though. There's a long pass down the far sideline. Long run for Mueller. Keeps it in bounds, but it's headed away by Isaac Avalos. No problem for the Saints as they clear it. Another opportunity here for Trinity. Mendoza pushes it ahead. It's intercepted. And a foul is called as Mendoza grabbed at Centino. So Centino falls to the ground. Foul is called on Trinity. And the clock continues to run now, close to 6 minutes to play. First half here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. St. Francis has a 1-goal lead. They've not dominated this half, but they played well enough to keep Trinity off the board, and they took advantage of a corner kick to get their first, and to this point only, goal. Throw-in coming up for Centino. He is the lone goal scorer today. Centino, typically a defensive player, doesn't revel in a lot of points. He's looking for an assist here on the throw. Skidchenko not able to control it off the first touch, so he passes it off to Conway. Conway was sizing it up for a shot, but taken away by Haywood. Machias Haywood around a couple of defenders. passes it off. Trinity still has possession. Back on the defensive side, it's Kipfer. Kipfer, pressured by Skidchenko, gives it up, and it's lost by Josiah Joseph out of bounds. So after all of that jumble, St. Francis does come back away with possession. Before Conway can toss it in, we've got a whistle. He was up too far. Conway does it again. Headed towards Skidchenko. Skidchenko gets to the ball, but he had to push his way through Troy Tsai to get there. So Skidchenko is called for the overly aggressive offense battling against Tsai. And despite the foul called against St. Francis, Skidchenko is a little worse for the wear. He's grabbing at his right ankle as the clock is stopped at 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the half. The training staff will go out and have a look at Zakhar Skidchenko. Not sure exactly what happened, whether he slid, took an awkward step, or maybe he was stepped on. There was some contact down there with Troy Tsai. He pulled at Tsai and was called for a foul in the process, but again, he took the brunt of the damage. He's on the ground still right now. Some players for Trinity and for St. Francis return to their respective benches to grab a quick drink of water as long as they have a break in the action here. We've got a long break in the action coming up just a few moments from now. 4:21 to play. First half. St. Francis is trying to carry at least this advantage into halftime, facing a team that they have not lost to in 5 years. Current head coach of the Trojans, Josiah Larson, has never beaten the Fighting Saints. 2016 was the last time that they pulled it off, and in fact, since then, in 4 matchups, Trinity has scored only 1 combined goal. They haven't scored any so far today as the Saints look to shut them out again. They are 3-0-1 in their last 4 meetings. So far today, all of the shots on goal have come from the Saints. 3 of them. Trinity has not yet challenged Carson Heglin, despite having taken 3 shots overall. None of them have reached the net. Skidchenko is up. He's walking off the field. He is not being supported as he walks off and doesn't have a noticeable limp either, which is good news because it was his right leg that he was grabbing at, low on the leg, maybe around the ankle. That's what he was clutching when he was on the ground, so it doesn't seem to be a serious leg injury as he walks off on his own towards the sideline. He'll take a few minutes off, but by the looks of things right now, it would not be surprising to see him back in the game soon tonight. Hit up into the air towards the attacking zone for St. Francis, deflected back by Trinity. Contreras takes possession. Into the middle of the field, intercepted. Here comes Josiah Joseph. Joseph, good move to get around Conway. There's the pass into the center of the field and knocked away. Leonardo Haro on the defense that time. Out of bounds on Trinity. Thrown in by St. Francis along the sideline. Push downfield. Offsides flag is up. No need to blow the whistle. There is the whistle. There's a man down for the Saints. It is Pablo Rubio Guerra. Tried to get himself up. Ended up falling right back down. So just a minute after our last injury, the clock stops again. Another injured man for St. Francis, Skidchenko. And now Rubio Guerra, although he's okay. Just a tough collision, I think. Got his hip bumped. So he may have a bruise there. He's grabbing at it a little bit, but he was able to pull himself up pretty quickly. So he's doing fine. Clock runs from 3 minutes and 18 seconds. We're back underway. Joseph keeps it in bounds towards the back line, and this time the Saints let it go out. So Joseph only kept it in bounds for so long. Goal kick here for the Fighting Saints, who lead 1-0 on the goal for Roberto Centino off of a corner kick from Zakhar Skidchenko. There's Conway on the sideline, out of bounds. Throw in for Trinity International with 2.5 minutes to go in the half. They're looking for a ball. We got a foul here. I thought no one had gone out, but the foul is called on Conway. So Kipfer gets the free kick right along the sideline, just across midfield. Kipfer's kick curls into the box and right into the waiting arms of Carson Hegland. No problem making that save for Hegland. He positions the ball in front of him and sends it away. A little pressure there from Tyler Cooey. Cooey is not able to impact the play as Hegland gets rid of the ball quickly. A low line drive. That's the way he's had to kick him today. Here's a chance for St. Francis. The shot is wide to the left. Boy, that was a golden opportunity for the Fighting Saints. They had two guys in front of the entire defense for Trinity, but not able to finish it off. Sergio Fernandez Orango, who does have 5 goals this season, was not able to take a good one there. Still 1-0. Great chance for the Saints to make it 2-0 going into halftime. They're not able to take advantage. Still, they've got the lead and are about 65 seconds away from carrying it into the intermission. Still an opportunity, though, for another goal here. No whistle there as another man goes down for St. Francis. Actually, the same man. Pablo Rubio Guerra, who was on the ground a couple of minutes ago, goes down again, still grabbing at that left hip, which may have been aggravated again, same spot that he was grabbing earlier. Out of bounds, another St. Francis throw incoming. Final minute of the half. Saints are not in any particular hurry here as they get the free kick. So they may be content with their 1-goal lead heading into halftime. They're pretty much letting the clock run out here. They may get enough time for one shot here as Conway flips it down the field. That one dies in the wind, headed away by Trinity. Joseph takes it the other direction. Conway, with the clock running out, takes a wild shot from midfield, and that's how the first half comes to an end. 1-0, St. Francis has the lead. They got a goal in the 30th minute on a corner kick. Roberto Centino headed it in for his first collegiate goal, and that goal has been the only one we've seen through 45 minutes of action. We'll see if there's a little more offense in the second half as Trinity, who has not played poorly today but does trail going into the break, tries to pull off the comeback. 1-0 Saints at halftime. I'll be back in about 15 minutes with the second half of action here on the USF Sports Network. 1-0. St. Francis leads Trinity International. It's halftime here in Joliet, but we're ready to start the second half. The two teams have flipped sides. Trinity going from left to right now. They'll get the opening kick here in the second half of the game. St. Francis will be going from right to left. The Fighting Saints got a goal in the 30th minute from Roberto Centino. He became the 9th player wearing the St. Francis colors to score a goal this season, as he posted the first of his collegiate career, assisted by Zakhar Skidchenko on a corner kick. Other than that, I think you could probably fairly say that St. Francis outplayed Trinity International, but it was close. They outshot them 7-3 overall. 3 shots on goal. The Trojans didn't take any, so Carson Hegland, the junior goalkeeper, didn't have to work all that hard. He's got a shutout going so far without having to make a save. He's touched the ball a handful of times, but no shots came his way that he had to stop. And the Saints would like to keep it that way, as now they've got the wind at their backs. We'll see if they can use that to their advantage here in the second half as Trinity takes the opening kick. Josiah Joseph is able to blow by a couple of defenders and pass it ahead to Josiah Fox. But before Fox can lose the ball, Joseph is tripped up. So a free kick is coming up for Trinity International following the St. Francis foul. There haven't been a ton of those today. It's just the 6th foul on the Fighting Saints up to this point. But a free kick here from 30 yards out, just to the left of the net. Kick is being sized up by Alberto Mendoza. He steps away. It's going to be Fox, it appears, who will take it. Josiah Fox is set. Kick comes in over the defensive line and over his potential attackers as well, as it goes out of bounds for a St. Francis goal kick. It's a little too strong on what looked to be a pass from Josiah Fox. He was not trying to put that one on the net himself. Hegland has it set up for the goal kick. So St. Francis is able to dodge the first bullet of the second half. They get their first touch of the ball here in the second half. That free kick and the ball that went out of bounds from Fox ended up concluding what essentially was the first possession of the half. Trinity International took the ball out of halftime from Josiah Joseph, and they didn't give it up until after that free kick. And now the Saints have turned it around to the other side of the field. Fernandez Arango touches it, loses it. Deflected back to Santos Contreras, and he sends it back to Leonardo Haro. The Saints will run things from the defensive end. Isaac Avalos out across the midfield. Brought in by Rubio Guerra. Rubio Guerra into the box, takes a shot and scores. Pablo Rubio Guerra, the freshman forward from Spain, scores to make it 2-0. He puts in his 3rd goal of the season very early. Here in the second half, it's 2-0 St. Francis. A big goal for them to provide some much needed breathing room against a struggling Trinity International team. So it's Pablo Rubio Guerra scoring for the 3rd time this year. Zakhar Skidchenko left late in the first half after going down with an injury. He has not returned since that injury, so the Saints are looking for some offense elsewhere. Skidchenko entering play today had scored 15 of the team's 27 goals for the season. So that's a big, big loss to have him on the bench, and they've been able to find offense from a couple of different sources. And now maybe another one as the ball goes into the box, but a sliding stop by Mahmudovic. And it remains 2-0. Pablo Rubio Guerra scores the goal here. In the first half, it was Roberto Centino, although Skidchenko was involved in that one as well. He ended up with the assist on that play. Here's Rubio Guerra again. His pass trying to get it through the defensive line of Trinity International. He was looking for the freshman Kevin Verdon. It was deflected away instead, taken by Trinity. And now Josiah Fox has it on the attack. Fox looking to push it through. Unable to do so successfully. Trying to find Garside. Did not work out for him. Back to midfield. Rolled ahead for Garside, and Haro gets there first, knocks it towards the sideline, and Haro was able to knock it off of Garside before it went out of bounds, so the throw-in does belong to St. Francis. They get pushed back a little bit further before the throw-in. Just underway here in the second half. And St. Francis already has doubled their lead. Took them 30 or so minutes to get their first goal. Second one comes a little bit quicker. Towards the sideline, Willard keeps it in bounds. It's knocked away from him by Anthony Durka, and Durka knocks it out of bounds. Saints get it back under the foot of Santos Contreras. Contreras works to get the ball back, but he loses that battle to Alberto Mendoza. So Mendoza starts the charge the other way for the team in black. Mendoza pushes it ahead. Knocked away from Sean Fenton towards the far sideline, out of bounds. Lobbed in along the far side, short of midfield. St. Francis trying to get it back on the offensive end. Not able to do so yet, but Isaac Avalos steps in and pushes it deep down the field, well out of bounds as it dribbles along the sideline. Just over 5 minutes into the second half, we've got a throw in here for Trinity International. Chasing 2 goals. It's a tall order for a team that has struggled to score this year. They entered play today having lost 6 consecutive matches. Good takeaway by Diego Cortez. It's knocked off of Cortez's foot, out of bounds. Far side of the field. Throw-in coming up for the Fighting Saints. And it's Conway tossing it in. Bounced into the box. And knocked to the back line where it's controlled by Mahmudovic. Nobody there to play it for the Fighting Saints. Along the sideline, Trinity trying to keep possession. Garside not able to keep it in. It's knocked away from him by Centino. And then Garside taps it out. Centino will throw it in after a good defensive play. He steps up, lofts it into the box, and Rubio Guerra, I think, got that one off his hand, or he may have been called for the foul. It's a free kick coming up. Trinity International will get a free chance to clear it here. Ball rolled away a little bit from Jamin Kipfer before taking that free kick. You can see the wind is certainly still blowing, still impactful on this game. We saw it again right there. Back in the first half, the Saints were kind of forced to try to get everything cleared on a line. They didn't want to loft it up into the breeze because the ball was getting knocked down every time, and now Trinity is learning the same thing. The ball was out of bounds. Throw in for Trinity. Nick Willard from midfield set to toss it in as Jamin Kipfer heads to the bench. Zach Maudsley back in. A run from Fernandez Arango, stopped by Willard. Fernandez Arango sticks with it, gets it back. Now he's in the box, working against Maudsley. He falls to the ground, gets the ball back, takes a shot, a sliding stop, and it is picked up by Mahmudovic. Willard was the one who initially deflected that ball, and Fernandez Arango somehow was able to get a shot off even after he fell down in the box about 10 yards off the net. With 2 defenders in his way, still was able to get the shot off, but a good save by Mahmudovic. Now another run. Pushed ahead into the box and knocked out of bounds. Along the back line, we're going to see a corner kick here. Kevin Verdon's attempt to get that ball across the field to Pablo Rubio Guerra was halted, but a chance from the corner for the Saints. This is how they got their first goal. They only had one corner kick the entire first half, but it netted them their first goal, and now they'll try to get a third this same way. Corner kick comes in from Contreras, just out of the reach of the head of Durka, and it goes to the backside of the play untouched. Finally chased down by Johnny Mueller, and Trinity tries to clear it. It's deflected by Rubio Guerra out of bounds, and now Trinity will get a chance to clear it on the goal kick. They tried to set up the header for Durka on the corner kick from Contreras, but it narrowly missed the head of the freshman Anthony Durka. Ends up going untouched prior to nearly going out of bounds along the sideline. Another run here for the Saints. Knocked back, but sent ahead again along the sideline to Verdon. And now it's loose, and Trinity comes away with it. The Trojans make a run. It's Fox passing to the middle of the field. Xavier Brown, and Brown not able to control it, but it's knocked out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Brown tosses the ball back to Caracos, who will get the throw in. Mendoza taps it once to Mueller. Mueller to the outside and lost by Brown out of bounds. Xavier Brown unable to reel it in. Another throw in coming up for the Fighting Saints at the 10-minute mark here in the second half. They played 10. 35 to go, and St. Francis has a relatively comfortable lead at 2 goals. A long way to go in this one, but the way that the Fighting Saints have played so far, Trinity International has not gotten a shot on goal against this tough St. Francis defense. And the way that Trinity has played of late, in which they've really struggled to score, Saints definitely feel good about their 2-goal lead as a foul is called on the Trojans here, setting up a free kick and another chance for the Saints to score. This one about 40 yards out, pretty much dead center. Skidchenko on the bench after suffering an apparent leg injury in the first half. He would usually take the free kicks. Here it'll be Contreras. Contreras from the middle of the field. His kick goes over the net and out of bounds. Goal kick coming up for Trinity International. Contreras just got a little bit too much height on that one, lining it towards the net. He heads this one back towards the net, but well short of it, of course, as the Trinity defense turns it back the other way. Garside loses the ball. Good defense by Durka. Sent into Rubio Guerra, and he's offsides. Durka and Fernandez Arango both on that stop. Fernandez Arango then sent it forward to Rubio Guerra, but Rubio Guerra was well offsides on the play. Pretty easy call for the side official. Knocked into the air by Brown. In the middle of the field, deflected over to Garside. Garside tries to create a shot. Durka got in his way. He's able to pop it up in front of the net, and Hegland comes racing in to make a diving play. So Hegland again makes a nice stop, not necessarily a save there, because it looked like Garside was just trying to keep it away from a couple of St. Francis defenders who were in the area. So he popped it into the air just to create some space. And in doing so, Hegland got himself involved and made sure to stop any potential threat for Trinity International. Trojans are ready to make a sub here. Machias Haywood comes back in. Haywood played for a while in the first half. We got our first look at him here in the second half as Trenton Garside heads to the bench after playing the first 13 minutes of the half. Free kick for Trinity International from their own side of the field. Haywood deflects it over to Mueller. Johnny Mueller Wheels it back to Nick Willard. Back to the sideline, Mueller. Some good passing from Trinity International, but not on that one. Mendoza's pass is intercepted by St. Francis and tapped out of bounds from Trinity International as Willard hits it away from Durka. Thrown back into the attacking third of the field for the Fighting Saints and immediately headed back to the neutral zone at midfield. Xavier Brown is forced off the ball. Good tackle there. Leonardo Haro keeps it alive for the Saints towards the sideline, and Durka keeps it inbounds. Chased down by Johnny Mueller, and he forces Durka to get rid of that ball much sooner than he wanted to. Looked like he was trying to set up Pablo Rubio Guerra down the middle of the field. With Mueller closing in, Durka just sent a pass pretty much to anybody, and there was nobody there. So into no man's land, and it rolled straight out of bounds. Here's a ball down the sideline. Willard chases it, and Willard lets it go out. He got there before Rubio Guerra could. Nicely played by Willard. And he'll get a throw in for his efforts. Here's Machias Haywood. Haywood is fouled. And a free kick here belongs to Trinity International. Willard along the sideline for Johnny Mueller. Mueller tries to turn it back to the inside. Sets up a shot for Josiah Joseph, and a good save by Carson Heglin. Joseph kind of flew in out of nowhere there. Josiah Joseph has been quiet of late, hasn't really been involved in the action the last several minutes. But he came flying in off a good ball from Mueller. Mueller actually kind of lost the ball. He was trying to turn it back to the inside. Well defended. He lost it at the last touch, and then in came Joseph to get a shot, and it was the best shot of the game for Trinity International. First shot on goal. Saints may have another chance at one right here. Verdon takes the shot, and it's too high, and Verdon puts his head in his hands. He's unhappy with himself right there. The freshman had a chance at his second goal of the season. A beautiful look at the net off of a good pass from Pablo Rubio Guerra. It was just Verdon against the goalkeeper Mahmudovic. And looked like Verdon had him beat with a good shot, but he pushed it too high over the crossbar. And it remains 2-0. Offensive reinforcements coming in, though, for St. Francis as they try to build upon this multi-goal lead that they've already got. Zakhar Skidchenko is back in. Skidchenko sat out about 20 minutes of game time after he left with an injury in the first half, but he's back out there. Pablo Rubio Guerra is off to the bench. 28.5 minutes to play in the second half. It's Trinity International possession on the free kick here, down on the far side. Tap back to the defense. And Maud Salih hits it towards the near sideline and out of bounds. Not a very good kick there from Maud Salih. Sets up a St. Francis throw in from around midfield. Off the head of Skidchenko. Into the box again. Another chance for Kevin Verdon, who slides, takes the shot, and it's stopped by Mahmudovic. So Verdon takes another shot, this one on goal, but not nearly as much on this shot, as a result of the fact that he was sliding as he kicked it towards the net. Here comes Trinity, cleared by Isaac Avalos, cross midfield, chased down by Maud Salih. Maud Salih's kick is headed back by Leonardo Haro. Two teams just exchanging blows back and forth from midfield. And finally it's knocked out of bounds by Trinity International, and that'll allow St. Francis to stabilize things here as they are able to take possession on the throw. Roberto Centino steps up. Lobs it in off the head of Zakhar Skidchenko towards the back line. Maud Salih wants to let it roll. Mahmudovic dives on top of it. Maudsley was ready to let it go out of bounds, but with Verdon closing in, Mahmudovic wanted to make sure there was no chance of Verdon getting a touch and potentially a goal, or even just to keep the possession alive. So he fell on that ball, which was risky with two guys in the area. Now a run for Trinity International. They get it down deep. Xavier Brown out to Josiah Fox. Fox takes the shot and scores. Beautiful shot from Josiah Fox. Into the upper corner on the right side of the net. Fox makes it a one-goal game with 26 minutes and 19 seconds to play. It was really a pretty shot from Josiah Fox. Looked like it was set up by the junior Xavier Brown. Fox, senior midfielder from Provo, Utah, was able to finish that one off on a gorgeous shot past Carson Heglin, who is denied a shutout with a relatively late goal for the second consecutive game, but more concerning for the Saints right now is that their lead is down to 1 goal. Still a good time to be up by 1 with just 26 minutes to play, which is a lot of time, but well over halfway through this thing. And the defense had played extremely well up until that goal. It was only the second shot on Carson Heglin today. So it's not as though Trinity International has had ample opportunities. Saints defense has been strong. Their goalkeeping has been strong. Their midfield has been strong to keep Trinity from making too many good runs towards the net. Here comes Durka. Wrestles Maudsley off the ball, but can't keep it alive. It's taken away by Trinity International. Ball rolls all the way back to Hegland, and Hegland clears it to the other side. Long run, Skidchenko. Ball moving a little bit too fast for him. Finds its way into the hands of Mahmudovic. So the Saints are still in very good position in this game, but they no longer feel any sort of comfort as Fernandez Arango tries to build that comfort back up with a long run into enemy territory. Knocked away, though, by Karakos. Trinity reverses it to midfield quickly. Josiah Joseph pushes it ahead. Down on the far side, it's Fox once again. Josiah Fox looks for the cross, and there was nobody there to hook up with as the ball rolls to the back side of the play, and along the near sideline, it rolls out of bounds. Throw in for the Fighting Saints. Off the chest of Contreras. Headed upfield by Fernandez Arango. Contreras tries to get the ball back from Josiah Joseph, but Joseph wins that battle, and he's fouled. Isaac Avalos called for the trip there, or rather, Fernandez Arango, sorry, called for the trip. To the back line, Avalos knocks it to the sideline, and I think before Isaac Avalos touched that ball, it was already out of bounds. So we've got a goal kick here as both teams make substitutions. Edward Luna is back in for the Fighting Saints. Troy Tsai, senior defender from the Philippines, is back out there for Trinity International. Both of those two players were starters today. Alberto Mendoza comes out for Trinity. Jack Conway does the same for St. Francis. At midfield, it's Josiah Joseph trying to start a run. Knocked away from him off the chest of Verdon, who passes to his right. Foul called on the Fighting Saints. Those have started to pile up here in the second half. Another free kick for Trinity International. This one 10 yards beyond midfield, just off to the left side of the net. 2-1 our score. Trinity International just 1-11 on the season. Down 2-0. It would have been very easy for them to just fold up and take the loss, but they are fighting hard late in this one. It bounces into the box. Hegland steps up and grabs that ball to prevent a shot from Trinity International. Bounced into the other box. Mahmutovic tries to pick it up, and it bounces off his fingertips and out of bounds. Now he's claiming that he never touched it. But they have awarded a corner kick to St. Francis. It looked from up here like it glanced off his fingers, although he would know better than anybody else. Well, those goalies wear those thick gloves. You can tell if you've actually touched the ball or not. Zakhar Skidchenko back out there for the corner kick. Skidchenko sends it in. Mahmutovic punches it away. Off to the backside, still alive for the Saints and knocked out of bounds. It is a St. Francis throw-in. Down in the corner. So all of this set up by a ball that was hit from way on the other side of the field, bouncing down towards Mahmutovic. Instead of just letting it go, he tried to make a play on a high hop, and it ended up being too high, bouncing off his fingertips out of bounds. That set up the corner kick. Trinity is able to take it quickly back the other way, though, and Machias Haywood is knocked down. And we're going to see a yellow card here, I think, as Haywood hits the turf on what was a good run up until that point. So the yellow card is given to Leonardo Haro. And Haywood nets the Trojans a free kick. A pretty good position on the field. 35 yards out, just a little bit to the left of center. And the Trojans looking for the equalizer here. Josiah Fox scored their goal a few minutes back that got them on the board, cut the deficit in half. He takes the free kick here. Trying to do more than just cut the deficit in half, but close it up entirely. There's the whistle, here's the kick. Hagelin steps up, hits it up into the air, and it's knocked away by the defense. Haywood tries to keep it alive for Trinity International. Back into the box, push towards Hagelin. And this time I think we've got an offsides. So the Saints are able to come out on top after that good opportunity for Trinity International. We're back at midfield. St. Francis nursing the one-goal lead, but Trinity International coming on strong here in the second half. On the far side of the field. Another shot and a save by Hagelin. Josiah Fox puts a laser beam on goal, but Hagelin sticks his position and makes a good stop. Keeps the lead for St. Francis. Hagelin has been challenged a lot more here in the second half than he was in the first. So far, though, he's kept the lead. Saints scored one in the first half, 30th minute off of a corner kick. They made it 1-0. Here's Skidchenko in the box, heading it back. There's a shot and a save. Shot from Cortez, and Mahmutovic puts a stop to it. 30th minute goal off that corner kick for Roberto Centino made it 1-0. And then very early in the second half, just 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes into the second half, St. Francis got their second goal and a good run from Pablo Rubio Guerra. They look to have this one pretty well in hand with a half hour to go, leading 2-0 against a struggling team. Into the box, and Trinity International's thwarted again. Saints are able to clear it. The Trojans not only got a goal to cut the lead in half, but they have certainly outplayed St. Francis since that goal. They have been the aggressor of late. Saints with the lead in the final 20 minutes of this thing. Playing back a little bit. Trying to make sure they have a strong defensive game. Fox is forced to the ground by Santos Contreras. He wanted the foul. No call. Skidchenko comes away with a good tackle, and now Skidchenko is on the run. Skidchenko past the defense, takes the shot and scores. What a run by Zakhar Skidchenko. He just took the ball away at midfield and then was off to the races. It was all him on the way down. 3-1, St. Francis leads with 19:14 to play. And a huge goal there from Zakhar Skidchenko, who already had an assist today. Now he's got his 16th goal of the season. He had to sit out for about 20 minutes with an injury, but even with that time on the bench, he's been out there about 50 minutes or so. He's got a goal and an assist as Trinity botches the initial kick after the goal, knocking it out of bounds, and that gives it right back to St. Francis. Edward Luna will get to throw it in. Three to 1, St. Francis leads. A little delay here. There was a clock issue. So the clock at 19:06 right now, following the St. Francis goal. Well, let's set it back to 1914. I guess they're just going to restart play. So we'll just restart things here after the goal. Again, Skidchenko's goal comes in the 71st minute, his 16th of the season. He's now got 3 points tonight, 34 for the season. And he has not quite put this game out of reach, but he's helped to put it away here as the Saints will now try to run out the rest of this clock. Trinity International had been on the attack ever since they had scored their first goal and made it 2-1. Here comes Xavier Brown. Brown down the center of the field, taps it off to Josiah Joseph. Joseph hits the ground. He's shaken up. Saints take possession away, though. Fernandez Arango taking it downfield. Joseph still hasn't gotten up on the other side, but play continues for St. Francis offensively. A ball sent in towards Skidchenko. It rolls past him over towards that back corner, and out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick. And now with the ball out of play, Joseph is going to check out of the game. He was able to get himself up, crouching back down on the opposite end of the field now. And so to deal with this injury, the clock will stop at 18:16. Joseph is hobbling off on his own. And in the meantime, Sammy Olage is ready to come into the game. So Olage in for Joseph. Then it'll be a goal kick for Trinity International as we resume play. The goal kick is intercepted by Skidchenko, and he pushes it ahead for Kevin Verdon, but play was stopped before that. Free kick here for Trinity. Off to the left side, knocked up into the air. Trinity works it into the box. This is Josiah Fox again. Fox takes a tough shot and a good save by Hegland as he punches it over the net. Another good shot from Josiah Fox. He has been very impressive here in the second half. But Carson Hegland just a little bit more impressive on that particular attempt as he knocks it over the net and sets up the corner kick. It will be Fox on the corner kick. High in the air. Back end of the net, sent in front of the net by Maudsley and cleared by St. Francis. Here's Haywood. Haywood trips, loses the ball. Still in possession of Trinity as Olage keeps it alive. Knocked out of bounds by St. Francis, and a throw-in coming up for the Trojans. Man down for Trinity. Not enough contact to call the penalty. Here comes Skidchenko, who stayed on sides, and Skidchenko now all alone. He's got just the keeper to beat. Skidchenko takes the shot, and he nets another one. 2 goals for Zakhar Skidchenko in just the last couple of minutes, and the lead for St. Francis is 4-1. He received the pass just across midfield, I think, there. Maybe even got to it before midfield. And was thus able to avoid the offsides. And just blew past everybody. Had only Mahmutovic to beat, and Mahmutovic didn't stand a chance. Second goal of the night for Zakhar Skidchenko, number 17 this season. And he's got 5 points in this match. It was just 5 minutes ago, as a foul is called here on St. Francis. Just 5 minutes ago, 2-1, and Trinity International had looked like the better team over the last 10 minutes or so. Created several chances for themselves, and it was nerve-wracking here as the Trojans tried to come back and tie the score, but all of a sudden, St. Francis has a commanding lead. 4-1 with just 16 minutes to play. Into the middle of the field, Macias Haywood. Haywood is tackled off the ball. Good work by Fernandez Arango there. On the far end, Trinity throws it back into play. Ball sent to the edge of the box, tapped back. Now rolled off to the left side. Durka clears it. Taken into Durka again by Nick Willard. Willard loses possession, and Edward Luna clears it along the sideline, but out of bounds. Maudsley steps up to throw it in. Here's Josiah Fox. Fox taps it towards the sideline, out of bounds. Fox throws it quickly back in. He's wasting no time here. Wants to move quickly as Trinity tries to get 3 late goals on the board. It's a tall order for this Trojans team. Towards the sideline. Past Verdon. It bounces out the sideline, out of bounds on Trinity. Kevin Verdon just stays on the sideline. He checks out. Dominic Barwolik, his fellow freshman, comes on. Skidchenko sends it through to the box, and Mahmutovic this time steps up and makes the play. Good play by Armin Mahmutovic that time. Good pass from Skidchenko trying to set up Diego Cortez. Nearly had him. This one too far out in front of Skidchenko. It's intercepted. Here's Haywood getting the pass from Willard, and Haywood loses possession. Back on the offensive end for St. Francis. Barwolik tries to chase it down. Haywood gets there before him. Good run from Macias Haywood as he blew by Dominic Barwolik, who had a 2-step head start chasing after that ball. But an opportunity now for St. Francis from the corner as the ball went out. Eric Vega coming on for the Fighting Saints. And it looks like Durka is coming out. So Vega in for Durka with 13.5 minutes to go. And St. Francis has a corner kick. Kick comes in from Cortez, back post, deflected away by Sean Fenton, and out of bounds on the other side. So we'll get another corner kick from the opposite end. It was Cortez on this end. It'll be Skidchenko taking the kick from the other side. Skidchenko to the back post, a little bit past Cortez. Cortez tries to keep it in bounds. He does enough to get it along the sideline instead of the back line. Does not keep it in. Oh, it was out the back line, sorry. Was not able to save it, so we've got a goal kick. Mahmutovic sends it away. Intercepted by St. Francis. Here comes Skidchenko cutting back to the middle. He takes the shot and he hits another one. Three goals in the last 7 minutes for Zakhar Skidchenko. And St. Francis's lead is up to 5-1. It was a tight game with 20 minutes left, 2-1, with Trinity knocking on the door, and Zakharskichenko just decided to take over. 3 goals scored over the course of 7 minutes. He's now got 18 for the season. 18 of St. Francis's 32. He's been involved in all but 1 goal scored tonight for the Fighting Saints. 3 goals and an assist. Passed off to the far side by Trinity. Fenton finds Fox. Fox works his way into the box, and it's knocked away from him. Cleared along the sideline. Here come the Saints again. Sent to the middle. Skidchenko taps it back, and there's nobody else there for the Fighting Saints. Easily picked up by Mahmutovic, who just lays it off for his teammate. Maudsley starts to make his way down the field. There's a trip and a foul called on Trinity International. 5-1 Fighting Saints. They have pulled away here in the second half. This was a 1-0 game at halftime. A lot more offense here in the second half for both sides. Sent in towards the back, and an easy pickup for Mahmutovic as he was unchallenged. Scoring in the second half started pretty quickly. In the 48th minute, Pablo Rubio Guerra scored his 3rd goal of the year. And then the Saints went quiet for the next 20-plus minutes until Zakharskichenko decided this game belonged to him. He made 2 incredible individual runs, just blowing by everybody and finishing off with a score. And then about 2 minutes ago, he scored for the 3rd time. And this time it was just a nice shot from the right side. A bullet past Mahmutovic. Diego Cortez heads out for St. Francis. Aaron Maroof is back in. Or in for the first time, actually. It's the 9th time this season that Maroof has gotten onto the field. Played in 9 of the 13 games for the Fighting Saints. Well, I guess this is number 14, so 9 of the 14. With under 10 minutes to play, the Saints are in pretty good position here to improve to 5-3-1 in conference. Trying to solidify their position in the conference tournament at the end of the year. They're in very good shape. Towards the back corner, it is knocked out of bounds by Trenton Garside. The throw-in belongs to St. Francis, who makes another substitution. They bring Mariano Caturba. Sergio Fernandez Arango checks out. In the middle of the field, a shot taken by Josiah Fox, and that one well out of bounds. Over the net by plenty. And Carson Heglin will retrieve a ball for the goal kick here. St. Francis entered today's match in 7th place in the conference with 13 points. It looks like they'll add 3 to that. They came into today down 2 points on St. Xavier and 3 on Judson. So depending on what those 2 teams are able to accomplish this week, the Saints are in good position to try to make a run up the standings. They've got Trinity Christian coming up this weekend. That's the next game. Will be on Saturday. And Trinity Christian is just behind them with 10 points. Here's Skidchenko. He's forced off the ball by Troy Sy. Cleared across midfield. Vega steps in for St. Francis. Possession secured again, though, by the Trojans. Fox off to Willard on the near side. Willard taps it through. Down in the corner. Tough work for Tyler Cooey. Cooey back to Willard. Into the middle of the field. That pass from Sammy Olage is deflected. And Trinity not able to get a shot off. Willard trying to keep this possession alive down on the back line. He makes the sliding play along the back line. And before Hegland can fall on that ball. It did go out of bounds. Another sub coming on for St. Francis. Fabian Aloa is in. And Zakar Skidchenko heads to the bench. He gets a good hand from the crowd. Skidchenko checks out with 3 goals and an assist, and with a 5-1 advantage and just 7 minutes to play. Seems safe to take him out. Let him rest up the last few minutes of this one. Here come the Trojans into the box. There's a cross with nobody on the receiving end of it. It trickles out the backside of the play, out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in. Saints will take their time on these throws. Trinity International, which was really picking up the pace for a little while, hasn't really needed to lately. Down 4 goals. Much different story than down 1 or 2. They'd like to get themselves back on the board, but a comeback is probably out of the question at this point. Tyler Cooey takes a shot, but hits it wide by 20 feet or so. Another goal kick coming up for Hegland. So a big game later this week for the Fighting Saints against Trinity Christian. Just behind them in the standings. They're in the middle of the pack. Lincoln and Cardinal Stritch, both undefeated in conference play, sit at the top, and then beneath them, a lot of teams are bunched up close together, and that includes St. Francis, who could very easily still miss the conference tournament if they find themselves in trouble late in the year. They could also very easily host in the conference tournament if they get hot late in the season. Tapped to the top of the box is Josiah Fox, knocked off of his foot. Good defensive play by Haro and cleared at the end of the play. Saints got off to a really rocky start this season. In non-conference play, they could not find a win. They went 0-5 in their first 5 games, all out of conference. A couple of close losses in there, but mostly they were blowouts. Here comes Cooey, touches it towards the middle, deflected away from him. Fenton takes a shot on the back end of the play, and Sean Fenton's shot rolls on the ground wide to the left of the net, out of bounds. Carson Hegland will get another goal kick here with under 5 minutes to play. In fact, it's amazing to look at their non-conference schedule. There were 3 different games in which they were outscored by 4 goals. It's amazing to think that they were even able to get back to even in goal differential, but today they have moved past even for the first time all season. They had surrendered 6 goals already before they had even scored for the first time this year, so they've never even been close to a positive goal differential for the season, but today they moved ahead of it. They have now outscored their opponents 32-31 for the season with the 4-goal edge tonight. And most of the credit to that is due to Zakar Skidchenko, who has 18 of the team's 32 goals. Or I should say most of the offensive credit goes to Skidchenko. The defense has tightened up as well, including tonight, as close play there is saved by Mahmutovic. He steps in, knocks it up in the air. Can't get it downfield at all, though. The ball bounces towards that back line, out of bounds. We'll get a corner kick here. The defense of St. Francis has been very strong, including tonight. They have allowed just 4 goals in their last 4 games. Edward Luna traipses down to the corner to take this corner kick. No rush. 25 seconds have already run off the clock since the ball went out. But Luna's got it set up. He sends it into the box and knocked away. I think that was Maudsley who cleared it. Now a shot from long range is knocked down by Mahmutovic, who does not allow a rebound. He comes in and recovers after the initial deflection and picks it up. This throw downfield, though, is sent out of bounds. Luna will toss it in here for St. Francis. Headed back into the middle of the field. Knocked forward by Sean Fenton. Haro trying to knock it away for St. Francis, but Trinity keeps possession. Here's Garside. Number 99 passes it into the middle to Sy. Troy Sy to Fenton. Back to Sy. Deflected away. And Sy's able to pick it up, but a foul called on St. Francis as there's contact here in the middle of the field. Josiah Fox sets up the free kick. Fox takes it quickly towards the net. Heglin comes on and makes the catch. And he punts it well across midfield. And well off to the sideline as well. Dominic Barwolik just watches it go out of bounds. Doesn't even make a real run for it. Didn't have much of a shot at it. Tossed in and taken away by St. Francis. Garside. Pushed forward towards the box. There's a shot and a goal. Xavier Brown puts it in and makes it a 5-2 game with 1:23 showing on the clock. And so Trinity International has struck twice here in the second half. We've seen 6 goals scored in the second half after just 1 total in the first half. That one will hurt Carson Heglin's goals against average, but ultimately probably won't mean much in the grand scheme of things in this game. Although it does also mean that St. Francis is back to dead even in terms of the goal differential. It just gave that whole speech about how they had moved to the plus side for the first time all year. They're back to even. They'll try to get back on the plus side over the final minute here or possibly in their next game. There's a chance at it, but the shot from Vega goes wide to the left out of bounds. And we'll have a goal kick here in the final minute. Probably the last shot that St. Francis takes today. That attempt from Eric Vega. Armin Mahmudovic out to the midfield circle. Headed back into plus territory for Trinity International. The Saints take it away once more. Knocked down the field and out of bounds. We'll get one more goal kick here. One more chance for Mahmudovic to boot it downfield and show off his leg with 20 seconds remaining in the game. Big lead for St. Francis. Most of this offense has come since halftime, and much of it in the second half, even of this second half. In the final seconds, the ball bounces back towards the sideline. It's kicked out by Haro, and that's how the game will end, as the throw in from Trinity International is met by a buzzer. 5-2 is our final score. St. Francis wins their second in a row, both of them by lopsided totals. They beat St. Ambrose 3-1 on Saturday. They beat Trinity International 5-2 today, so that means back-to-back victories here at home. So they've outscored their two opponents on this 2-game homestand 8-3. Nice work by the Fighting Saints bouncing back after a very tough 2-1 loss to Olivet Nazarene last week. Snapped a 2-game winning streak. It could very easily be 5 straight victories for the Fighting Saints. Instead, they'll settle for 4 out of 5 as they improve to 5-3-1 in conference play this year. They pick up their 3rd victory at home for this season. The story of this game was the flurry of scoring in the second half, and most of it from Zakhar Skidchenko. It was 1-0. The Fighting Saints led at halftime. Skidchenko on a corner kick set up Roberto Centino. Centino scored in the 30th minute to break what had been a defensive struggle up to that point. And that was the last time this game could have been called a defensive struggle. That made it 1-0 at the break. And then in the second half, a quick goal was scored by Pablo Rubio Guerra. That made it 2-0 in the 48th minute. And it looked like St. Francis might cruise to a victory by that score, but credit to Trinity International. They kept fighting. Josiah Fox put one in the 64th minute. That made it 2-1, and then Trinity kept pushing. They had some good offensive attacks during that second half that made St. Francis sit on the edge of their seats a little bit, but then Zakhar Skidchenko took over. Skidchenko scored 3 goals in the span of 7 minutes late in that second half and put the game away. It made it 5-1, a late one for Trinity in the final minute and a half. Made it a little bit more respectable, making the final score 5-2, but that is in fact our final today as the Saints knock off Trinity International. They are now 4-0-1 against the Trojans in their last 5 meetings with this team. The victory makes the Saints 5-8-1 overall this year, 5-3-1 in conference. Trinity International falls to 1-12 overall, 1-8 in CCAC play. Saints now with 16 points in the conference standings, squarely in the middle of the pack in a tight CCAC race. Again, 5-2 our final score. Saints head to the road to Trinity Christian next. They'll be back at home in about a week and a half. That'll do it for today. Again, our final score, 5-2. St. Francis is victorious. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis from Joliet, Illinois. Talk to you next time.